want to still tell the story.
You look at this bean, and we're awful close to the time when you're not going to set any more pods. What you got. And then you're right down to taking care of them and saying, okay, how can we affect bean size? Because I learned from growing onions, it takes a lot more little ones to fill a bag. So how can we make that bean a little bigger? And I think when we had one of our very best plots with John Patterson was put on too late. It was first part of September, and you would have said, why are you spraying them that? But we picked up 9.6 bushel, and the only place we could have got it was making the beans just a little bigger.
Pod fill.
Pod fill is exactly the answer.
We're trying that with corn too, a little bit this year, don't we?
Well, on the corn, what we did is like at Ackerman's, what's the best way to increase yield? We'll raise a longer day corn. Except for the downside is, well, it's got to get ripe. Nobody wants to harvest wet corn. But if we can harvest 107-day corn right along with 103, I think that is our biggest chance to get that yield bump we're looking for and get to that next level.
Norm, what's the disadvantage of using Growthful?
And, that's a good question because crop safety's been excellent. We've never had a phyto problem. In other words, boy, I think you kind of hurt my crop. Just haven't seen it. We haven't had mixability problems. It mixes real well. And so your only other concern is, well, if I spend this much, what am I going to get back? And we got a pretty high success rate of you're going to make money on that investment. Two words I try to stay away from: cheap and guaranteed. However, we are a good value, and we have a high success rate.
I don't think, with my exposure, I've never heard of a disadvantage by using Growthful. I really haven't.
I thought it was a great question. Because I haven't heard that.
Look at the snap bean guy. He wants to know what he's going to do with all the dry beans. That's the problem. All the snap, all the green beans. His problem is, what do I do with all of this extra yield, Mike?
Did you tell him sell them?
And sell them, sell.
I think today growers are going to look at the return on investment, and they'll spend a quarter to make 50 cents. And that's what it's all about. And I had a grower tell me here a couple months ago that it's not about dollars and cents. It's about nickels and pennies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's, you can see any kind of return. It's worth the investment.
Yeah, I think that's true. If we don't harm crops and they get a return on investment, if we mix well with their, I know our product fits in most every protocol, right? That farmers are using.
I don't know, Brooke, how close you looked at this bean, but look how many
Bloom pods on it.
That them are, you're going to have, there's a 3 bean cluster. There's a lot of 1 and 2. As good as it looks, pod fill's still going to be your thing that determines your yield.
Yep. And we can drive filling out some of these little ones, normally fill these things out.
If we can keep that one.
Flowers,
Yep.
Convert them into pods and carry them to 3 bean pods.
And now let's see there a few more at the top.
Yeah. And this,
60 days, we're going to be pretty smart, Brick.
Oh, yes. Yeah.